In this video, we're going to look at adding and subtracting polynomials. The big idea to remember with adding and subtracting polynomials is that we will be combining like terms. If you don't remember what this is, you need to go back and review some videos in previous recordings and make sure that you understand, you know what combining like terms are. The big idea with combining like terms is that we can only combine things that have the same variable and the same exponents. In this example problem, we notice that 7x squared and 2x squared have the same variable and the same exponent. In that case, we can add these two things together. Since in the middle we have addition, we are simply going to add 7x squared plus the 2x squared, which we know is 9x squared. We also notice that we have like terms with 4x and negative 3x. And we are again adding those two things together. So this will be 4x plus negative 3x. 4 plus negative 3 is a positive 1x. Finally, we have a negative 3 and a negative 6. And when we add those together, negative 3 plus negative 6 is negative 9. So our final answer would be 9x squared plus 1x minus 9. And we know in math that we can leave off the 1 and just leave that as 9x squared plus x minus 9. Let's take a look at another example. Here you may notice that the like terms are not in the same order in each polynomial. For example, we have a 3x squared, but the first term is not x squared. We cannot combine 3x squared with the 14. We must continue to look and find the negative 2x squared. We are again adding in this case, so we are going to combine 3x squared plus negative 2x squared, which leaves us with 1x squared. We have a 4x. We're going to combine that with any like terms we have in the second polynomial, which we notice is a negative 4x. Positive 4 plus negative 4 will cancel each other out or equal to 0, so we leave off the x term. And our final like terms are the negative 12 plus positive 14, which is a positive 2. So notice in our final answer that we only have an x squared term and a constant term. There is no x term in there because the 4x minus 4x equaled 0. That is it on the adding polynomials. Let's take a look at the subtracting polynomials. In order to subtract, we are going to distribute the negative. This means that we're going to take a look at the subtraction sign right there in the middle, and we're going to imagine that there is a negative 1 associated with that. And we're going to distribute that negative 1 to every term in the second parentheses. Or we're going to multiply each one by negative 1. So if we look at the first term, that would mean that negative 1 times 2x squared is negative 2x squared. For the second term, negative 1 times negative 3x is positive 3x. And negative 1 times negative 9 is positive 9. This means that we have taken that negative away from the middle and have turned this into an addition. We are now just combining 5x squared plus 8x minus 4, and we're combining it or adding it with our newly created polynomial after distributing the negative. We do this so we don't have to worry about, am I subtracting or what are the signs for our polynomials. When we distribute the negative, everything just works out, and we are now simply combining like terms again. I notice I have a 5x squared and a negative 2x squared. 5 minus 2 is 3x squared. We do not change our variable or our exponent. 8x combined with the positive 3x is 11x. And negative 4 plus 9, negative 4 plus 9 will give us a positive 5. So our final answer here is 3x squared plus 11x plus 5. Let's take a look at one more example. So again, in this example, don't forget to distribute the negative. So we're going to take the negative sign and distribute it to everything inside the parentheses first. That will give us a negative 4. The negative times positive 6 will give us negative 6x squared. And the negative times the 3 is negative 3x squared. We keep the first parentheses the same, x squared minus 3x minus 14. And we are now adding these two together. We look for like terms. In this case, we have an x squared, we have a negative 6x squared, and a negative 3x squared. So x squared minus 6x squared will give us a negative 5x, minus another 3 will give us a negative 8x squared. I have a negative 3x, but I don't have any like terms in the second parentheses with the negative 3x. So we will simply bring down the negative 3x. And lastly, we have a negative 14 to be combined with a negative 4. That will give us negative 18. So our final answer, negative 8x squared minus 3x minus 18.